So it is time to go through the top 10 players in the NBA heading into next season. So without further ado, let's get into number 10. And I allowed you guys to vote on our number 10 player because I was stumped on who was going to make the list. And at number 10, you guys chose Damian Lillard, the point guard for the Trailblazers, made All-NBA first team last year, was fourth in MVP voting as well. He had very similar seasons in terms of his overall statistical output from last year to the year before, but everyone just kind of woke up last year and realized that Damian Lillard is maybe the second or third or fourth best point guard in the NBA. So you guys chose Damian Lillard at number 10 over the likes of Joel Embiid and Paul George. So we have Damian Lillard coming in at number 10. Let's go to number 9 on our list. I did a little bit of thinking, and I changed my opinion. I now have Kyrie Irving ranked ahead of Damian Lillard, and I have Kyrie Irving ranked as the number 9 player in the NBA heading into 2019. Now, there's no excuses anymore for Kyrie Irving. There aren't. No more excuses. We're done. It's through. Injuries are no longer an excuse. The knee injury is no longer an excuse. The team he's on is no longer an excuse. We're done. This is the year for Kyrie Irving to step into the true elite player conversation. Because he has always showed, in my opinion, flashes of it. But it's never been consistent because he's always been injured. But his knee has been cleared up. The screws have been taken out. There's not a single piece of metal in this dude's body. He is completely 100% healthy going into this season. His efficiency should go up again. His defense should continue to improve. He's my dark horse for MVP this year, so Kyrie Irving comes in as the number 9 player in the NBA going into next season. Let's go into number 8 on our list, and at number 8, it's Giannis. Giannis Antetokounmpo coming in at number 8 on our top 10 players list. The best young forward in the NBA, also in my opinion, the best finisher in the league as well. He shot, ready for this, within 5 feet of the basket. He shot 72%. 72%. That was higher than the number 2 guy in the NBA by double digits. That's outrageous. That's crazy. His length, his athleticism, and his explosiveness around the rim is unmatched by anyone in the NBA. He might be the best player, depending on what happens with Kawhi Leonard, and I say depending because I think Kawhi is going to have a better year. He might be the best player in the entire Eastern Conference now that LeBron James is gone. So if you're considered the best player in the Eastern Conference, you're going to make a top 10 list. There's a reason why he has the 3rd highest odds for the MVP trophy this year. So Giannis coming in at number 8 on our list for the top 10 players in the NBA. Let's go to number 7. This might be the first real controversy that we have here because people have been getting on me for putting Kawhi on the top 10 small forwards list, but not Gordon Hayward. Kawhi Leonard comes in at number 7 on our list. Why? Because when Kawhi Leonard is healthy, the dude was a top 3 player in the entire sport. He was before he went down. It was LeBron James, it was Kevin Durant, and then it was Kawhi Leonard. But everyone everyone forgets. We want to, we recency bias, and we forget how good Kawhi Leonard was before he got injured. This is a former Defensive Player of the Year. This is a former Finals MVP. This is a guy who was supposed to be, carry the Spurs into the next generation. Kawhi Leonard, when he's healthy, is one of the single most dominant players that we have in the game of basketball today. The reason I only have him at number 7, we have no idea what he's going to be like. We just don't. We have no idea. He hasn't played basketball in a year. Now, I say that mostly considering that I don't think his injury is going to be what holds him back, but you take a year off from basketball, and there's going to be some consequences. And I think his game might take a little bit of time to get going. But by Christmas, Kawhi Leonard should be the same guy that he was 2 years ago. Really. He really should. And there's no reason to think that Kawhi Leonard, who was a top 3 player in basketball before he got hurt, is not going to be a top 10 player when he comes back this year. I expect him to be in the top 5 by the end of the season. Let's go to number 6 on my list. And at number 6, it's the former MVP, Russell Westbrook. I think this is a good spot for him. I think Russell Westbrook is without a question a top 10 player in the NBA. Absolutely. No questions asked. Is he a top 5 player? That's the real question. I don't think so. I think he's just under that, number 1 elite tier in the NBA. Now, Russell Westbrook is one of the best point guards in all of basketball. Maybe the second best point guard in the NBA behind Steph Curry. But I just find that the difficulties that people seem to have with playing with Russell Westbrook drops him out of the top 5 for me. All the ability is there. He is the most physically dominant point guard in the NBA. We've never really seen a point guard as physically dominant and as explosive as Russell Westbrook in the history of basketball. But I think for right now, considering where the talent in the NBA is and where the game is going, not to mention he's not a great three-point shooter, Russell Westbrook just misses out on the top 5 for me. So he comes in at number 6. So let's get into our top 5 going into 2018-19. And at number 5, maybe a little controversy. This definitely was the most controversial player that we had in the office when making this list. I have James Harden coming in at number 5. Now, I've said multiple times that I thought LeBron should have won the MVP last year, but James Harden was a very deserving NBA MVP. He was. He led the records to the best record in the NBA. He was fantastic. He averaged over 30 points per game. He was an absolute dominant player. I understand that the turnovers were an issue and he isn't a great defender, but James Harden was absolutely a deserving MVP last year. But I still need to see him take the next step in the playoffs. Every single year we see him get there, have a good couple of series, and just completely fade in the finals, or in the conference finals and into the finals as well. So we need to see more long-term viability for James Harden this season. But for me, number 5 player in the NBA going into this season, I think his stats overall is going to take a little bit of a step back. Let's go into number 4 on our list. And at number 4, I got Anthony Davis. I had to put him above James Harden. I simply had to. Why? He's the best big man in the NBA. Because not only is he the best big man, or not only is he the best power forward in all of basketball, he's also the best center. He's both. He's the best player at both positions. And we've had YouTube commenters about saying, oh, Anthony Davis is a power forward, not a center. Oh, Anthony Davis is a center. He's both, guys. He's both. He plays both, and he's the best at both positions. It doesn't matter where you put him. For me, Anthony Davis is going to win MVP this year. He's averaged 28 and 11 in back-to-back seasons. DeMarcus Cousins is gone. They have a primary distributor now on the team in Elfrid Payton to go along with Drew Holiday. They have a bunch of good shooters on the outside as well. Anthony Davis is going to have the best season of his career this year if he stays healthy. And for me, he's the number 4 player in basketball going into this season. I have him above James Harden also because not only is Anthony Davis probably the best offensive big man that we have in the NBA, he was a finalist for the Defensive Player of the Year award this year. Like, that's insane. He was the only player in the NBA to be a finalist for the MVP and Defensive Player of the Year award. So for me, with the two-way game that Anthony Davis has, he comes in at number 4 ahead of James Harden. Let's go into our number 3 player on our list. This one, I originally had Anthony Davis at number 4, but after a stern talking to from people in the office, Steph Curry comes in at number 3, and they're right. I absolutely agree. Steph Curry, the number 3 player in basketball going into this year. I apologize for my initial slight hatred over not having Steph Curry in the top 3, if that's considered being a hater. But when healthy, he's the best point guard in the NBA. He just is. No one, I don't think, even more so than LeBron, I don't think anyone has as much holy shit, I need to turn on the television to watch this guy effect that Steph Curry does. I don't even think LeBron has that, because when Steph Curry gets hot, you instantly turn on the television. Instantly. League pass, turn it on. I'm absolutely watching the Warriors if Steph Curry is 4 for 4 from 3 and we're going to the second half. At that point, we might see something legendary and I'm turning on the television. For me, that is enough to put Steph Curry as the number 3 player in the NBA. Back-to-back MVPs, still the best shooter in the NBA, and he's still, without a question, the best point guard that we have in basketball today. Also, I know that the Warriors have Kevin Durant, Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, blah, blah, blah. Steph Curry is what makes the Warriors tick. He really is. He's what makes the Warriors that all-time level team because he's the best shooter in the history of basketball. So when he's out there with Klay, with Draymond, there's no issues. He can be out there without Kevin Durant, and they still be one of the best teams to have ever stepped foot on a court. I want to thank Miz and Maine for coming along with us today. The most comfortable dress shirts that you will find anywhere, bringing us some of the best shirts on the internet. Go to comfortable.af. I have 8 of these shirts. 8 in my closet. 8 Miz and Maine shirts. I threw away all of the cotton shirts that I have in my closet because Miz and Main is the only shirt that I need to wear, coming along with us here on NBA Weekly. So we just went through the top 7 or 8 players, I guess, considering number 10. Let's get into our number 2 player in the NBA, and that number 2 will always be number 2 in my book. It is Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant, the number 2 player in basketball, also the number 2 player at his position, but winning back-to-back finals MVPs for me has cemented him behind LeBron as a number 2 player in all of basketball. The only questions for Kevin Durant right now are post-2018. It's just what comes up after 2018 for Kevin Durant. Is he going to stay with the Warriors? Is he going to go to the Lakers? What's going to end up happening with Kevin Durant? His future is the biggest question mark for him right now because I don't really see him, changing his game or becoming better than he already was. We've already seen the peak of what Kevin Durant is going to be as an NBA player. So it's just a matter of how is he going to continue that peak and how is he going to continue to be in championship contention going forward. I don't think he's going to go, I don't know if he's going to stay with the Warriors. I think him going to the Lakers would be a ton of fun to play with LeBron, but we will obviously have everything for you guys up to date as we listen to what Kevin Durant is going to do next offseason. Let's go into our number 1 player in the NBA, and if you have a brain or a half a brain at least, or even just a sliver of a brain cell left, you know who the number 1 player in the NBA is, right? We know who this is. We know who the number 1 player in basketball is. This isn't a competition anymore. This isn't something that needs a debate. It's LeBron. Plain and simple. That's it. It's LeBron. He's the best player in basketball. He's the best, maybe the best player of all time. He's my GOAT. What else does LeBron James need to do to be considered the number 1 player in basketball? He's been the best player in the NBA since he rejoined the Cavs a couple years ago, and probably for a couple years before that when he was on the Miami Heat. Now entering his age 34 season with the Los Angeles Lakers, we should see a fantastic year with LeBron James. We really should. He's going to be an amazing, amazing Los Angeles Laker, and I said this during Lakers rumors. I'll say it again. It is ridiculous to me. Ridiculous that people are underestimating this team and trying to say that the Lakers, with the best player in basketball, are not going to make the playoffs. You people are crazy. You people are absolutely crazy. But let me know in the comment section below, who is the best player in the NBA? Give me a 1 for LeBron. Give me a 2 for KD. I say it's LeBron. Obviously, I don't even think it's a competition anymore. I understand that KD has beaten LeBron in back-to-back finals. I understand. Good for Kevin Durant. But I don't know if there's really anything that Kevin Durant can do that would put him ahead of LeBron for me in the all-time rankings. Kevin Durant to me isn't even a top 10 player all time. He's not. I just don't know if he's ever going to be on that list. But again, he's only entering his age 30 season, so he still has some time. But that's going to do it for our top 10 players in the NBA. I'm sure you guys have plenty of stuff to say. Let me know in the comment section below. Did we miss someone? What do you guys think about our rankings? You guys, I'm sure, are not going to hold back in the comment section here on YouTube and on Facebook.